Welcome to Nature Nurture Hub. Every spring deserves a touch of magic, and nothing captures that nostalgic fragrance and visual elegance better than the lilac. Syringa vulgaris. Its clusters of pastel blooms and irresistible scent can transform any ordinary yard into a fairy tale garden that feels like a page out of an old romance novel. For American gardeners who crave color, charm, and timeless beauty, growing lilac isn't just an activity. It's an emotional experience, one that connects generations through the language of fragrance and flowers. Growing lilac Syringa vulgaris begins with understanding its nature. It is a hardy, deciduous shrub that loves sunlight and cool winters. Native to Europe and beloved across the USA, it thrives in USDA zones 3 to 7, making it a perfect pick for most northern and central states. The key to growing a healthy, blooming lilac lies in its love for full sun and well-drained soil. The plant blooms best when it receives at least 6 hours of direct sunlight daily, so choose your planting spot wisely. Avoid shaded areas or overly wet soil because lilacs despise soggy roots. When it comes to planting, spring or fall is the ideal time. Begin by digging a hole twice as wide and just as deep as the root ball. Mix some organic compost or well-rotted manure into the native soil before planting. Lilac roots appreciate a nutrient boost, but not an overwhelming amount of fertilizer. Place the shrub in the hole so that its crown, the area where stems meet roots, sits at ground level. Backfill gently, firm the soil, and water thoroughly to settle it in place. Lilac, Syringa vulgaris, has a simple watering rule, deep and occasional. In its first growing season, water it once or twice a week, especially during dry spells. Once established, lilac is remarkably drought-tolerant, but during bloom formation in late spring, a little extra hydration encourages more abundant clusters. Overwatering, however, is a major mistake. It leads to root rot and poor flowering. Fertilizing lilac doesn't require expensive products or frequent feeding. Apply a balanced 10-10-10 fertilizer in early spring just before new growth starts. For organic gardeners, compost or bone meal works wonderfully. Avoid high nitrogen lawn fertilizers nearby, as these can push excessive leafy growth at the expense of blooms. Pruning is where many beginners go wrong, but it's actually simple once you know the rhythm. Lilac blooms on old wood, meaning the flower buds form on the previous year's stems. That's why pruning should be done immediately after flowering in late spring or early summer. Remove spent flower clusters as deadheading to prevent seed formation and redirect energy into next year's blooms. Cut out any dead, damaged, or crossing branches to keep the shrub open and airy. Every few years, rejuvenate older lilacs by cutting 1/3 of the oldest stems near the base. This keeps the plant vigorous and blooming abundantly. Sunlight, airflow, and soil drainage are the 3 golden keys to disease prevention. Powdery mildew is a common issue in humid climates, appearing as a white coating on leaves. The solution: ensure plenty of spacing between plants, avoid overhead watering, and prune to allow light and air circulation. Aphids and borers occasionally appear, but they can be controlled using neem oil spray or insecticidal soap. Gentle yet effective. For those living in the colder regions of the USA, lilacs are a blessing. They require a good chill period in winter to set buds, so northern climates often see the most fragrant and full blossoms. In southern states, opt for heat-tolerant hybrids like Miss Kim or Bloomerang Lilac, which adapt well to warmer zones. When your Lilac Syringa vulgaris blooms for the first time, you'll understand why it has been cherished for centuries. Its flowers come in shades of lavender, pink, white, and even blue, each carrying an enchanting aroma that perfumes the air for weeks. Whether you plant them along fences, garden borders, or as a standalone focal point, lilacs instantly elevate your outdoor aesthetics. They also attract butterflies and hummingbirds, bringing even more life to your backyard. Caring for lilacs goes beyond just maintenance. It's about creating moments. A morning walk beside your blooming lilac hedge, inhaling that heavenly scent, can reset your entire mood. The plant's fragrance often evokes childhood memories for many Americans, connecting generations through simple garden joy. If you're growing lilacs in containers, choose dwarf varieties like Tinkerbell or Palaban. Use a large pot with drainage holes and a light, loamy soil mix. Water regularly, but make sure the container never stays soggy. Every 2 or 3 years, repot to refresh the soil and prevent root binding. Propagation is another fun part of lilac gardening. The easiest method is taking softwood cuttings in early summer. Choose a healthy, non-flowering shoot, dip it in rooting hormone, and plant it in moist potting mix. Keep it humid and bright until roots develop. Layering and root division also work well if you prefer to multiply established shrubs. When winter arrives, lilacs go dormant. A quiet rest before spring revival. Mulch around the base with shredded leaves or bark to protect roots from temperature swings. In early spring, remove the mulch to let the soil warm up again. A gentle pruning and feeding session will prepare your lilac for another spectacular bloom cycle. For a truly breathtaking garden effect, pair lilac with spring bulbs like tulips and daffodils or late bloomers like peonies and roses. The contrasting colors and fragrances create a layered sensory experience that feels luxurious and welcoming. Lilac Syringa vulgaris is more than just a flowering shrub. It's a living piece of heritage that carries elegance, simplicity, and grace. With a little patience, sunlight, and care, your lilac will reward you with decades of stunning beauty. So, whether you're a beginner gardener or a seasoned plant lover, let lilac remind you that every season holds a new promise. And sometimes, that promise smells like heaven. If this inspired you to bring timeless beauty and fragrance to your garden, it's time to plant your own Lilac Syringa vulgaris. Start today, nurture it with care, and let your backyard bloom with elegance and joy year after year. Don't forget to share your blooming journey with other garden lovers. And subscribe for more guides that help your garden thrive beautifully across every season.